10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Doom.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Shadow feeds apparition.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Lich.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Raise King!
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Takiro!
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining.
War Chief.
Radiant team pick.
Beastmaster.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick.
Razor.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining.
Queen of Pain.
Prepare for battle.
Thank you very much, Dakota. Yes, we are returning for Monkeys vs. EG. Game number 2, EG with the 1-game advantage and pulling out the L Classic. It is going to be the Centaur War Runner, but he's been significantly buffed.
Oh, that's a weird smoke.
Hey,
I was watching EG and they're just like, oh, let's smoke under the tier 1. Yeah, the Centaur is an old school counter to the Doom. You just, once he gets Doomed, you just stampede away, and then you can try and disengage and trade cooldown for cooldown, and generally it's viewed as a positive thing, trading those two ultimates. So it's an unusual pickup for sure in this particular patch, but one that I think works pretty well versus the slows from Queen, Lich, and Jakiro. Even the Boar can be super annoying to deal with if you're any of EG's heroes.
Love that from Monkeys. It was in fact Moon that was just drawing a huge circle inside their own jungle and saying, you know, guys, we have no control of this area whatsoever. EG have probably moved in here very aggressively. And this will be our first runes drop, so we'll go the way of Miracle, who's the Queen of Pain. And the man who is tagged up as the real Slim Shady, it is going to be Sumail. We'll be taking that SF.
The SF versus Quap matchup is a difficult one for Queen past 4, and a difficult one for SF prior to level 5.
Would you want to keep Lich in the mid lane a little bit longer?
Yeah.
To tell that Miracle?
Ideally, no, but you might have to in this matchup. I've actually seen, I think, Fada's Beastmaster beat a Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, so I wouldn't have been opposed to them putting the Beastmaster there either. I think it works okay both ways, but it looks like Fly is just gonna make Sumail's life miserable.
This lane switch, though, has worked out quite nicely for EG. Yeah, it wasn't really the biggest control over a Miracle, but he went Blink to start with. He didn't go for the Shadow Strike to start with, so he was definitely expecting to have someone like the Razor in mid to get that Blink up to break the static link. But doesn't get that. You get Universe on the top lane as the Centaur, up against the Doom, so the heavy tank versus the heavy tank. And then there's an aggro tri-lane here from EG. Fear going boots first on this Wraith King. He doesn't have himself any mangoes, just one clarity up his sleeve. He's going to be a little bit more careful with his mana consumption.
He also misses the Sentry Ward. Another T-Ward miss. and this kind of lets Fear do whatever he wants. The spawn is blocked, and Jakiro's kind of huddling next to his tower. No Tail can't get any farm. He doesn't have access at level 1, and this is one of the strengths of Razor. You should almost always win your lane with this lightning guy in your lane.
But then again, you do have a Beastmaster. Once he gets his boar up a little bit more, you're going to have a fairly large creep wave coming in. Just farm from range. I just do it the very passive kind of nature. Wait for the creep wave to come onto the tower. You've got observers and sentries down, so PPD and Fear shouldn't be able to find anything from this. It's actually the top lane where you could find a little bit more. But it's Universe who's trying to actually get Moon to attack into him to get that return damage to pop back. But this is a Doom with level 2 Scorched Earth. He's going to have such a great time on this top lane.
A double edge way better suited for Int heroes or agility heroes, but versus
hello.
like Doom. Oh, nice.
Going forward, and Samount dying underneath the tier 1 tower. Caught just the very end of that one as he did die back behind the tier 1.
It's really tough with that Lich in the lane to try and not die early. He did have a salve available to him, but
Can we turn the light on?
probably wanted to wait until Shadow Strike came off. Level 2 Shadow Strike picked up by Miracle. Should probably keep an eye on this mid lane a little bit more.
Yeah, just to see where it's going to go from now. They get the first by the way of the Queen of Pain. The soul catch up from the SF, never a great thing. PBD's hoping for the courier snipe. He's pretty damn close to it. Problem is, he can't finish the job, but he knows it. He comes in range, in fact, of the tier 1 tower, the tier 2 tower, which reveals him out. While on the bottom, because they do see the PPD is away. Now Fly as well as Crick can be a little bit more active in this bottom lane. Like, you do have that dual breath plus the liquid fire, and the dual breath is a real pain in the butt. It got buffed up recently, and with No Tail in the neighborhood as well, you get the pause, you get the liquid fire, you get the frost blast. That's 3 big slows that could catch EG out of position.
And with 3 heroes already down in the bottom lane for both sides, you're not going to see that much stacking at all. So that's kind of not that great for the SF, who's already having kind of a tough time, and no bottle yet available to him. So Queen of Pain kind of free to get the runes whenever she wants to, as well as just play as aggressively as she wants against the Shadow Fiend, because those Observer Wards have stayed up on the lane. We do see a TP scroll on Fear as well as on Razor. That is a super early pickup by Razor, but he is the strongest up to 3 right now, and hopefully they can get a return kill.
Alright, we'll put the players back into darkness for the moment. This is the laning phase I was expecting from Monkeys. Like, a lot better start for them. The Doombring having himself a great time. The Queen of Pain getting first blood. Even
I think
if CS is bad.
Queen might kill him one more time. It's looking really bad for Sumail.
Yeah,
Again.
he's not in the greatest position of all. In fact, actually, he ticks out anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
With a Shadow Strike
It's a fresh
that's on
Shadow
him,
Strike.
this is actually, yeah, he's dead.
Well, he needs one more right click, or else he can tango and then salve through one of the ticks. But that's just a completely lost lane for him. It might be better for him to just straight jungle, but at the same time, you don't want a Queen to be able to go down to your safe lane and just blink scream on 3 heroes.
Well, but anyway, Fear gonna make his way in. Good stun on Miracle's gonna keep him there just long enough that Fear can get the revenge kill. So Queen of Pain doesn't get away scot-free for this one, the SF again. And we know what SF can do, like recovery farming for a Shadow Fiend is always great. Now, trouble on that bottom lane for Arteezy, just so much slow. He's got 144 movement speed, and they'll just beat into him while he just cannot get back in range of the tier 1 tower.
That's a very smart early pickup by Fly. You rarely see this, a level 3 Frost Armor with a 1/1/1, and I think he attacked No Tail and was not expecting that extra slow.
Top lane, this move is coming out, and okay, he actually Mango pops to get the Hoofstorm up. And at that exact point, Moon just falls back, Miracle. Yeah, he's in trouble again with PPD. A double damage rune, uses the Vortex to get the vision, and Miracle blinks himself down. One more attack, where's it going to come? It's not there. Fly arrives, gives the Frost Armor up, and Miracle gets himself back away to safety.
Yeah, Sumail getting dominated in this mid lane. I don't think I've ever seen him die 3 times in 4.5 minutes. I've seen a lot of teams like focus him, but in a one-on-one matchup, well, there's Lich there. The Lich factor. That's one of the most aggravating things when you're a mid player.
Where you just keep losing creep after creep.
Yeah.
Now Universe and Moon, they've taken their battle from the top lane. The movement speed is 360 versus 380, and that's not including the fact that you have that Scorched Earth, because you got that movement speed aura of 12% on Moon at the moment.
So now they've ditched bottom lane completely. They need resources to help Sumail out, or just let him jungle, and then that leaves Arteezy vulnerable in the in that lane. So they probably just need to get Centaur to soak up experience on there, but he's not quite level 6. Once he's level 6, he should be okay and can just leech freely until Primal Roar is up.
I like this movement from Monkeys, where you get the Jakiro up to the top lane. Never be underestimated. Just a couple of points up in Liquid Fire. You get to the 3 or the 4, you can actually take solo towers just as a Jakiro.
This lane rotation, though, is super important for EG. EG, I think, is one of the most quick. They're one of the teams that's just most quick to adapt to a situation in the game, and they just completely shifted all 3 of their lanes. Well, Wraith King TP to the mid lane, Razor shifted from bottom to top, and then RTZ rotating to the jungle, and PPD also absorbing a lot of the experience in the mid lane. But this was a necessary audible for EG. They were just getting pummeled in probably 2 of the 3 lanes, with top being a wash, so you can't lose 2 of your lanes like that.
They still are losing a little bit out for this.
It's better than Miracle's getting out of control. You want to just kind of let her trade farm for farm, because when you have an advantage, you want to be able to press it, and trading evenly is never a good thing when you're ahead.
It's just the lesser of the evil. You gotta make a choice. I'm still looking at 2 cores from Monkey who are having themselves a terrific time. Both the Lich as well as that Jakiro up against level 3 Ancient Apparition, who they're trying to get some extra levels to in the mid, but has to be really careful because Miracle starts the Shadow Dag, goes for the Scream. Potentially he can Sonic Wave this one down. Red Team's going to kill the Beastmaster in the meantime. The PPD has said no reason to burn the Sonic Wave until now Samael will arrive. Goes for the both Razors, taking out Fly, who dove a very, very long way underneath that tier 1 tower. The Beastmaster died in front of his own tier 1 tower bot lane. And Miracle's going to get pushed back out. There's not enough mana for a proper combo for him.
You know, that TP by Fear actually, I think, just saved that early game for EG, because that's really slowed down Queen of Pain's farm. And if you look at her net worth, it's 3,400 relative to 1,500 for an SF, but it could easily be above 4,000 if that TP didn't happen. And on top of that, it gave Fear a lot of experience. Maybe they wouldn't have had enough damage to kill No Tail on the bottom lane.
They're coming for top. Doom is up, and they'll just let it go, but Razor, there's that Centaur ulti kicking in already. They want to make sure Universe can get the early levels, and this will allow RTZ just to run himself back to base.
Man, they were really quick about that. It's just like on autocast. Doom, boom, compete.
It just feels like just the old way of running these. I don't really want to say like the Blink Initiators, like the Sand King, which you just round the safe and then rotate him out to go for these rotation ganks all the time. Because like you just prioritize and say, okay, we need to have this level 6 for the Centaur before Doombringer is ready to be able to gank up. So he comes in with the Doom, we need the escape mechanism, and that is what Stampede allows you.
I mean, they're really good at just limiting snowballing, though. If you look at the gold lead, it's only 1,500 in 8 minutes, and Monkey Business had like a 3-kill Queen of Pain in the mid lane, just completely dominating the SF, as well as their safe lane completely secure. And now that bottom pool is dewarded, so those supports can catch up in experience. But no, this will be an unexpected move.
Yeah, not really expecting Monkeys to group up like this. The Green Wave can push in a little bit harder, which Crick can make happen.
This is a dead
tower,
tower,
just a dive underneath the tower. Yeah, no matter what happens, the Ancient Apparition will die. There's no TP available, and in fact, the TP for RTZ is also on cooldown. The Sonic Wave able to connect up to PPD. Moon just runs off the cold feet, and now maybe with damage coming out from this SF, PPD gets caught out in the middle again. The dual breath is over on Fear. The Ice Path even catching him out, and that's going to be real trouble as SF to drop. Fear still hiding in the tree line. The tier 1 tower is dropped, and Crit's going to come back just to check it. And Fear, yep, it's the realization. He'll drop. He was desperately trying to get himself to the money to pick up the hand Midas. The Monkey taking 4 heroes off EG. Samael came in as the SF, but had no real presence.
Well, that's kind of a fight you just have to all commit, or you kind of just don't commit at all. They could have sacrificed 2 heroes there, or your pretty much whole team has to go there to defend. But unfortunately, Centaur was the culprit that was not there. 1,500 gold, you can kind of understand that he doesn't want to go into a fight because it's a Doombringer tanking the tower. There's a Liquid Fire also on the tower, so your tower is not really the bastion of defense that you would hope for this early into the game. And they were just able to absorb all this and not even get close to a return kill. Yep. Maybe if Wraith King were level 6, maybe if Sense got there a little bit earlier, maybe if they stampede up, but none of those.
There's a lot of maybes in that.
There's a lot of maybes.
There's a lot of maybes in that.
Or if SF had any sort of items, should be like a, Treads mech, the safe build.
So now you got to put the SF into the jungle to farm up. The mid lane's a little bit too risky because you're waiting for Miracle to initiate on you, and he's building into this early orc, so control factors will be arriving a little earlier too. And then you've got, what, your under-level Ancient Apparition. He needs to get up level 6. Everyone else has level 6 apart from himself and Wraith King.
Yeah, it seems a lot better when Monkey can do better in lanes. Like both the game and the last game, it's come down a lot to the early laning phase.
Well, how do you even lose the early laning phase? You run a Lich as well as a Doombringer as a dual lane, and initially you look at that as the first 2 pickups, and you're like, well, okay, we've already won the laning phase, and then Monkey shift the Lich into the Queen Pain's lane.
Well, that's kind of one of the big sacrifices that you have when you pick a Centaur Warrunner. He's just very weak at level 1. He's as strong as he once used to be. Generally, used to be able to get like level 1 return, and he would just trade hits versus supports, but he's not that strong anymore. He's not that popular, and even solo supports can zone him out fairly easily. So that's why they ran him in the safe lane, because he wasn't going to get anything in the off lane. But at the same time, they really needed 1 or 2 heroes committed. Miracle.
Dire structures are fortified.
Actually catching out of the SF, but that's not enough damage.
Under attack.
Able to get back in time. Sumail will survive.
Middle tower.
But you lose your tier 1 tower at bottom as well as the mid. RTZ did deny up that bottom tower, but now up towards the top. Fear goes for the blast, but Fly's already going to be here. Fear is dead. Fear is going to fly in to deliver the hand of Maya, so at least he can have that bar if he dies, but you got to bet with gold.
It's smart of him to save his ulti, though. There were no heroes coming in, so he's just doing a smart move and saving that for a more important time.
Yeah. But they're going to keep losing more. Like crits now, like you took out the 1 tower on bottom lane, TP's towards the top, and then you're putting with the level 4 liquid fire 12 minutes. This is where monkeys, like we're taking out all these early towers, are going to find that level 3 necro book by 20 minutes into this game, if not before.
Yeah, with a different support, like, you know, a Dazzle or something that's okay at pushing, but not as good as Jakiro, EG wouldn't be in this much of a rut, but now their T2 is just going to fall without any sort of counterplay from EG, and this is one of the strengths of Jakiro that a lot of teams have overlooked, I think, and Monkey Business have really capitalized on in 6.85.
Well, most people kind of forget about it because it got nerfed a couple of patches ago.
It got nerfed just barely, though.
Yeah, but it removed enough of the damage that it wasn't this solo push at which Team Empire and VP used. Miracle, control, it's not me enough. Able to blink himself, he blinked himself up and then triggered off the regeneration rune.
And that's the reveal of the Centaur Blink Dagger, a kill that you must get when you're in this much of a hole.
And this advantage, you said it was being thrown, was going to start kicking up a little bit more.
I'm surprised they defended that top tower, though.
Yeah,
they're usually much smarter about those sort of movements. It's like, okay, even like the risk board, it's like, okay, we might save this tower, which can kind of open up our jungle a little bit, which won't really give them that much more map control.
Caught AFK. This time around, he's going to let up the ultimate. He's back into base, but he'll tick out. 27 seconds on the sideline. And with the death of the Wraith King, this will be the tier 2 tower in the middle and down. I'm wondering if monkeys have enough confidence they can go up. Like that Necro level 2 has just arrived. The Ice Blast will make life a little bit more difficult.
Middle tower has
they can at least liquid fired it a couple of times.
Either that or they just say, you know what, just go in for Roshan, take out the tier 2 tower on bottom lane maybe. Like focus on that instead, because G have been just pushing up the bottom lane itself. In fact, Crid's coming in here, he's using Macro Pyre to force out the lane.
It's the fake smoke, or the fake push rather. Although he's playing a little bit carefully now. If he really wanted to commit to that, could have have Crit go up and liquid fire the tower again, but he didn't want to die for this and nothing.
There's no point for it. Like he's almost finished up his Yule.
Well, it's mostly to not give away your smoke positioning. If they were actually putting, he would have went up and liquid fired, but he wasn't. He was actually scared of the initiation from sense, which you wouldn't be if your 4 other heroes were behind you. He would just get like instantly roared, and everyone who comes in has to deal with the Queen of Pain and Ice Path and Chain. So it was an okay movement. Teams have been trying to make their smoke movement a little bit less obvious by smoking as 4 heroes, as you just see EG did, but even then they're still catching on.
And the Dire's Courier gets knifed out. Life is not great at the moment if you're an EG fan. It only had the Observer wards on it, so that's not actually so well on the wrong Courier. That one actually had it had the Sun recipe.
I think you're actually kind of happy that Miracle went Orchid. Generally, you can get solo kill with it, but versus a Centaur ultimate, you might be able to just run into fog and then TP away to kind of limit the damage from Queen of Pain. If you have like a Scepter, I think you can just kill most of those heroes, because a hero like Razor's like super underfarmed. He doesn't even have Trez at this point. He does have the mech though, so that's one bright thing.
What do you think about
EG's future?
Something more like the Queen of Pain getting something like a Necro book instead?
Necrobook's okay.
Like you're running your push strat and you're going up against a Wraith King, so
That's what the
burn is always
Beastmaster is already there for. I think if they didn't have the Beastmaster, I think it would be a fine build, but you kind of want to spread your item choice. I mean, if they...
What used to make the double Necrobooks more viable back in the past?
It was a lot easier to siege, I think. They really punished early pushes, I think, with like the glyph refresh and whatnot, so it's kind of all-in-y.
I'm just looking at this lineup from Monkeys, and it's like a very great siege lineup.
Yeah, I mean, if you have perfect execution and you're very confident, you would build a pipe, you would build a mech, you do Necrobooks, and then you push high ground, and then there's no way that they can fight. I think that's actually a very, very high success rate, but there's just too many rooms for mistakes nowadays, I think. Like, maybe Centaur gets like 2 or 3 heroes in a stomp, or maybe AA will clip somebody, or they walk up into an unexpected Requiem. There's like a lot of potential scenarios which the fight can fail if not perfectly executed. But once you get to that level, which Monkey Business, you know, they're still in their stages of infancy, then you can kind of convert to the higher risk strategies with a super great reward. Like, ideally you want to end the game in like,
PPD?
you know, 20 minutes here.
Okay, now the Orc is going to be used, but PPT should still die anyway. He was trying to chase down a Hawk.
He's not worth the stampede. That's sad.
He really isn't, man. He really isn't. Just leave him back at base to die. But
yeah, but he's their Roshan, you know, scouter. With AA down, there's absolutely no fear of them taking Rosh.
They're actually around Roshan.
They can't.
So like
no way.
Like Fear isn't in a position where he wants to fight either.
They wouldn't mind
needs
it.
to find
They're hoping that Monkey can't end the game early, but with the Jakiro as well as Aegis and Necro 3 and Inner Beast Max, by the way, 1/4/4 build on the Beastmaster, there's very little chance that they won't be able to at least do significant damage to that tier 3.
Yeah, they can just walk at it. It's kind of the crazy thing too, like he said, well, maybe you have to wait like a minute until those Necro units are back up again.
Yeah, you'd want a
you
pipe.
actually don't.
I think if Doom went a pipe...
This is a nice little pick off though. Crit, the Yule Scepter, will at least be taking Universe out of the field of play, and now with the Ice Blast coming in, Crit to get hit by that, and they'll just double edge him down. So a good pick off, and then a straight TP out.
That's a really important kill. That wastes like half the duration of the Aegis, because they were looking for a push right there, but now they have to wait 30 seconds, they have to push out all the lanes, they have to wait for him to TP back, and one simple pick off.
They're looking for a pick off of their own. PPD, once again, I'm sorry, man. Like, at least he'll get rid of the Observer Ward using the Tango, and then around the corner, they're gonna roar for him. And the Doombringer will find the kill.
I mean, still, buying more time. AG, they just need time for the Midas to kick in, time for SF and Razor to come back.
Well, some Monkeys is coming. Oh, they're just TP the Jakiro to the tier 1 tower and push. The Necro books are back off cooldown. And in fact, actually, no, the Jakiro is TPing to bottom lane.
You have to push the side lanes out. You're losing out on too much farm in lanes 1 and 3, or top and bottom, whatever you want to call them. So, you know, they missed a window. That was actually one of the best opportunities that I would foresee for them. It's like 13-3, you have a huge gold lead, these two guys are like super underfarmed, no BKBs, you have Aegis, you have all this early game, and then slowly but surely the game should get a little bit harder for them if EG continues to farm at this pace.
Yeah.
Which is not great, but it's decent enough to be a slight worry for Monkey.
I'm still seeing that it's a worry for them, but they're hitting the sweet timing. You know, but Vladimir's over on the Doombringer shortly. Notal's got himself 1,200 gold. So
you need the mech pipe. Mech pipe is crucial for pushing that high ground, and Lich is still, he just has his buckler. We don't see any signs of a pipe.
It's actually a Vlad's. The mech's coming over on the Lich.
The Vlad's is coming out on Doom, but it's still not going to be enough. They're gearing more towards like a, I think 30 to 40 minute push, unless they take a huge team fight in the next 10 minutes.
I don't know, with the BKBs coming in, like maybe if you do want to wait it out, but
BKB is not that great for sieging.
True.
Because it's mostly like a very long, sustained process where you chip at the tower and eventually the team is forced to go on you. Versus EG's lineup, like most of the time you're going to get hit by like a Blink Stomp into like a Wraith King Sun into AA ulti. You're not going to have time to pop your BKB, which is why a preventative measure like a pipe is generally much better.
Well, they're coming anyway, man. That's a heavy group up of Monkeys. The Frostblast will help push out if I want to use. He's going to hold on to it for now. Yeah,
see, you can see their position. They like want to push,
yeah,
but
they really do.
They really don't want to lose a fight. If they lose a fight right now, they pretty much throw away their whole entire early game. That's pretty much like, I would say like a 6,000.
I hate to tell you, man, the mindset is to go. Like, they have 4 heroes ready.
Yeah.
They've got their fresh BKBs. They've had so much momentum in this game. They have a 10,000.
This is what they wanted to do 3 minutes ago, though, as soon as they got into Aegis. And Crit getting 1 pickoff, I think it was mentioned that it was his actually first major lane experience. Like, you know, these kind of things matter. They matter a lot. And they are only able to get, what, 25% damage on the tower before they're forced to back off. Well, they're really scared of the spam. Razor is also notoriously strong at high ground defense with his plasma field spam.
He's holding him out so long, so now we'll finally see Sumail TP himself back. Same with Fear. Ancient Apparition actually picked off the Lich in the mid. Universe charging forward to claim that one. So you've lost your Lich, you've lost your Frost Armor, you've lost your Frost Blast, and you've also lost your bouncing ulti.
Yeah, and look at the gold graph. It's finally starting to tip in favor of EG because of all this waiting time. Okay.
Sumail was farming bottom, Fear was farming Radiant jungle, and you had 4 or 5 heroes which were sort of farming the dire jungle and pushing top lane.
This is just an inexperience of the team, and you know, it's just, okay, everything has to come together just perfectly for early game C strat to work like this. They almost had it work though, just 2 pickoffs from the supports, and you know, they still have a shot next Aegis at least taking a Rax, but now they're getting into that territory where people aren't going to flop over from Sonic Wave. People are going to survive from the Dunebringer, and people may be able to survive from the Roar too once they get sufficient farm. And notice Razor and Shadow Fiend also just built completely tanky builds. Those sitting on treads, 1400, 1500 HP, when just a few minutes ago they were around the 1,000 mark.
Well, Sumail might be in trouble. That's a double damage rune over on Miracle. And with the Orchid Silence on the SF, there's nothing he can do. They actually commit the Lich ulti as well to ensure that kill. That's a 2-minute cooldown for both abilities.
That's just some of the risks that you incur when you want to delay the game. Some people are going to get picked off, but as long as the overall net worth is tipping in your favor, slowly but surely, or you delay the timing of Monkey Business's like death push, then it's okay. Ideally, it wouldn't be your Shadow Fiend though.
It seems like Monkeys also delay themselves. Like when you use things like that Lich Ultimate and Sonic Wave, like
well, he wasn't using it all game though. There wasn't no opportunity for him to use it.
True. True, but with this push down the top lane, so there's no Lich ulti, there's no Sonic Wave, taking out this tier 1 tower isn't the hardest thing in life. Even for someone like a Razor. Universe is still waiting for that perfect opportunity, and with the TP forward, who's gonna go? Is Crit coming out, and he starts with the Yule Scepter over on the Razor, but with a follow-up Ice Path, well, it'll do a little bit of work, a little bit of time, but Fear too quick, just jumping himself forward with that Raid Fire Blast. You do lose PPD, who is doing the dewarding in the meantime, and the Doom is currently over on Arteezy, trying to run away from him, and this is not possible for a Razor to do. Even with his 11-1 charges, he still end up dying on the top lane. While on bottom lane, while they're battling it up, Sumail versus Notal, these Necro units are going to finish the job with the ball. So Sumail will drop a 3-for-2 trade-off. Fear will walk himself out of here. But that tier 2 tower claimed, and Universe just wanting to mop up that extra cash. Fear helping out with it.
Seeing some extra items being picked up on each side. Roshan respawns still at least a minute away, and I don't know. I don't like the way this game is actually going for Monkey Business after that point in time. I think they could have at least taken a Rax if executed perfectly, and EG are just really good about giving, like, if you give them an inch, they'll take a foot.
Yeah.
And now they're almost having, I think, 2 BKBs very soon. So Razor might be going S and Y, but even Wraith King almost has a BKB.
They're actually transitioning Wraith King to be more of this core. Maybe to be a better target for the Doombringer to say, come and please do me.
Oh, you always want to get vision on the Doombringer. Or like, hey, roar me guys, I'm going on your supports. And it's important for your support to be that farm.
Miracle getting hit by the plasma field. Dropping a little bit lower. There's a sentry ward on PPD, which might be another reason why he backed up. But EG moving over, Notal's Hawk will be able to scat out that movement. They do have Stampede available, but to do it, they'll have to go in way, I'd say too deep, where they don't have any...
Miracle's about to kill Peter again.
Right behind him. That Ice Blast is still on the Queen of Pain, however. And with Arteezy there, you're going to Orchid and Sonic Wave. Start the static link, blink away. It's a hit and run.
That was the sound of your...
It's a very sad game for an Ancient Apparition.
His deaths are fairly inconsequential though, this early.
Yeah.
So it's not even that bad for him. He shouldn't be sitting in base. Like at least if you're like pushing another lane while they're pushing and they have to come gank you, you can just push out the lane that they were originally pushing and they won't be able to take the ground. And that's almost as good as just having a Ice Blast connect during that fight.
Monkeys, are they coming again? You want to both mech as well as pipe up and running, but this Lich still hasn't completed up his mech. He's still 80 gold short.
They need a D-ward. There's still one ward up by Dire in that mid lane. And they do have the gem up on the Beastmaster.
She's coming out. They're probably thinking the Monkeys is over at Roshan. So yeah, the Ice Blast fires out with the BKB up very early from Doom. Doom's up on that Centaur, so there's no stampede for this fight with the Lich holding Chain Frost bouncing around. EG, actually the Lich holding gets lost inside the Agent, but it'll come back up again. So much damage being done by this, but the first bit of kills, it comes out for the Doombringer. Jakiro, one last macro pyre, Fear running through it, almost burning out. As he outruns these Necro units, still not a healthy man. That ranged Necro unit, there it is from Beastmaster. Find the kill, slowing down Fly, back into the river. Sumail on the run out of here, but there will be one last level death to arrive from the Doombringer. As it's just trade-off Central, splitting this fight into 3 different parts, but it's Snowtail, who's still got Fear isolated on this bottom lane. He's already burnt through that reincarnation, and EG will lose all heroes. PPD is the only man that can slow this down with an Ice Blast, but even that he's gonna miss.
Great BKB by Moon, and also just great positioning by them, anticipating the uphill smoke and kind of controlling the area before EG can make a move into that Roshan pit. And Razor traditionally seen as pretty good versus Doom, but when you're this far ahead, you just can't do anything.
They're buying back. Universe trying to stampede charge in. They're a little bit too far away. So you get a buyback out from the Razor, and you're able to disengage without losing a single hero. The only thing you didn't claim, however, was Roshan.
Buybacks are probably better than Roshan at this point. Because you're not really afraid of EG being able to take it. They do have max Vampire up, but just not enough damage. Now, although they do have sustain from Shadow Fiend, so Shadow Fiend can potentially solo it. Definitely if Wraith King is kind of in the vicinity to give the aura, but I think without Wraith King he can almost still do it with this build that he has.
But the chance of you succeeding when you got a Hawk to scout you out, and
sometimes you gotta take a risk, Kobe.
Well, in this case, EG do need to. They're 14,000 net worth.
After that team fight, I think you kind of just go for plays like that.
Yeah.
Before that team fight, it's too risky because you still have a decent chance of winning, but at this point it's like, okay, well, we have to do something just
someone might want to move
absurd.
Courier. Middle lane. Free rest to be given if someone doesn't realize this. Okay, now they've realized it.
The chicken bait.
Yeah.
A risky play.
That's one way to do it.
A smoke, I don't know if it was under the ward or not, but
the pings are only coming out, and they actually see the observer ward, but the movement is a trap from EG. There should jump forward from Noritail with the double stop. No, the Orchid gets off in time. Universe has no way out this one. Miracle triggers his BKB. As Universe has to stampede the rest of EG out to safety. The Observe Ward is scouting out Sumail, however, he can't TP. It's on cooldown for 2 more seconds. Noritail, no Hawk available, no stun available, and with a rando Ice Path, maybe they would catch him out, but it's already too late. The TP is gone. At EG, they've lost their Razor, and this should mean bottom racks.
Yep, and no buyback from Razor, so they know he's in the grave for 30 seconds. Start sieging with nasty liquid fire.
And the racks will just burn it out. Universe would love to jump back in again, but
no follow-up.
Yeah, that's the real problem, isn't it?
And
like you look for the control, but where is your damage output coming from both Centaur as well as SF? SF still not sitting in max souls. They jump in, but the Yule Scepter catching up the Centaur. Universe just has no joy in this game, 4-star or not. He was awkward in his last attempt. He's Yule Scepter this attempt around. The Monkeys will just back out of here. They take out the range racks. They might want to finish that melee, however.
His cast point is just too long against these instant Yules and instant Orchid. And on top of that, they have like BKB and other stuff to try and disengage from that. So Centaur, the weaknesses are very evident in this game.
Yeah.
Although once he gets his Ags, it's pretty darn good, but I don't think that's even a viable possibility in this game.
You just look at that like a trade-off. Like you're in a Doom versus a Centaur. Who has had the bigger impact on the game?
Yeah. Well, it's easy to look at when you're owning this hard.
Yeah.
Right, but he also helped win the lane, and he's providing so much by his team. Even if he doesn't cast Doom, like let's say he didn't have Doom at all, he would still be very useful. He still has mass auras.
They have detection. They need more detection here, however. Because they saw Miracle underneath that Sentry Ward in the mid lane. It's now timed out, so they don't have that detection anymore. And yeah, EG just back into their jungle again, realizing there is an Invis Queen of Pain moving around. I think that's actually the third Invis rune I've seen Miracle grab this game.
No Tail deciding to play it safe. They have mass auras though. Shiva's, even Frost Armor, I kind of consider an aura. Vlad's, pack leaders, Inner Beasts. It's a lot to deal with.
They're in the position to start Roshan, but they're being very, very cautious. Not want to give EG an inch here. But this is a very, very simple Roshan. The Ice Blast will be coming in, causing a couple of chilling problems, but EG aren't in position to really punish this. Like, Universe is on the top lane, he just wants to finish the tier 1 tower. Fortification will deny him that at the moment.
Liquid Fire is also really good for Roshan. I think that's an overlooked aspect of that spell. It's like, oh, it's only good for tower sieging, but you can also just break high ground super easily because Roshan is super safe because you don't take that much damage. Here we go.
Looking for that full lane of racks.
It's a really good time for them to push.
And they've got to sulk your ass up. Like, that's already going to just rip. Yeah, you got -5 armor over on this melee rack. And just leave Miracle, the Aegis carrier on the front lines. Like, normally Queen of Pain, not the greatest physical damager, but they at least get the initiation out. They don't care if they burn the Aegis the Immortal. Fear, the BKB, up at a nice time as the blink away from Miracle. Does he end up shattering here? He's going to drop pretty close, and yeah, the Aegis the Immortal will pop from here. And what did you really claim? He didn't get much more than that.
Did not expect the cold feet. Blink Centaur stun into Wraith King stun. Pretty good.
Now that bottom racks, Universe, this time he'll get the hoof stop off. No double ace follow-up, but they get the kill over on Grip and the Necro units. They're going to start tearing him apart. It's just too much. With the Lich ulti down, the Doom ulti as well. It's just too much. Wraith King will get interrupted, so he can't TP out. And the reincarnation triggers, but they call GG. Evil Geniuses, this time they will admit defeat up against Monkey Businesses. And Monkey, great lanes, top 3 net worth for their cause.
It's really hard to tell who had the most impact on Monkey Business. They had a little bit of everything. Lich for the early lane, Queen of Pain for the early lane, and AoE, and Doom for securing top, as well as shutting down these weak heroes, Beastmaster for vision, PhD for the push. I don't know. I really like Monkey Business lineup. I really like how they adapted after the first game. It's like, okay, we need to concentrate way more on the early game.